This right here is a PS4 controller, dual shock, that I didn't get too long ago. I've before my recent birthday, well, July, I went into an existential crisis, and instead of turning to books or reflection or whatever, I started hot ringing. It's racing in Grand Theft Auto 5, right? I don't know, whatever. And I never liked the game. I never played the game. It's not to say I'm not a gamer. I go back to like Atari days and whatnot. Like, I'm not saying that, but I've had other hobbies and interests, and I've stayed away from the game. I haven't. In fact, it's been like contention in the household. It's like been somebody else's thing. Well, I started racing, and there's also a function of being able to talk and interact with other people. And before you know it, I'm in playlists and stunt races and crews, and now I'm actually getting better at a little bit better at shooting in the game. Yes, I know. But racing is really what I do. This is what I like to do, racing. And for Lent, which I am not practicing any religion at this time, but last night it came to me that I'm going to give up GTA for Lent. Not Greater Toronto area, but Grand Theft Auto. I never thought I'd be someone that would say I'd need to give up this particular game, but I think it would be good for me. I only read 4 books last year. I haven't finished reading a book this year, and that includes poetry, like reading volumes of poetry. I have not written much, and while I get great joy from racing, and I will likely be going right back to racing as soon as Lent is over, hopefully not before, because I really do hope to hold this. This has affected my life in some good ways, really good ways, and some really not so good ways. So we're going to see how I do. And this is the first day, and I'm already freaking out. First thing in the morning, I get a message that says race. And I don't usually, so you just know that I'm being tested straight away. So I don't know why I'm making you guys stare at this so long, just so you can stare into the abyss. It stares back at you. I don't know. This just me saying it for 3 freaking minutes, because I'm stalling. I've got this idea to go outside, go to the streetcar that's further away, not the close streetcar, but the further away one that will take me straight to the beaches, and go take video of the winter art installations. Not only is it cold outside, but I haven't been outside in quite some time. I don't generally go outside much, and I haven't done something like this. In fact, I missed out on going to take pictures of the Toronto Light Festival in the Distillery District this year, because I'd rather hot ring or play in stunt races that are fantastic, but I'd rather do that. And I can't just do that. Not when I'm so fortunate to be where I am. So here this can be here. I've taken my anti-anxiety med for the morning and some vitamins. And I'm still stalling, but I'm going to go outside. So I used to live in one of these buildings back when I lived in the beaches, and that's Queen Street right there. And it's snow. It's snow on the ground, so you're seeing. But this is how easy it was to get to the lake. Now, I know I live near the lake where I live now, in Parkdale. It's right across the train and the track and the highways and all that, and there's a bridge. You just walk over the bridge and I'm at the lake. But obviously there's a different feeling from being at that building and just walking down this hill, which, by the way, feels amazing. took me a long time to get here on the Queen streetcar, but you know, this felt like home to me. This is where my heart felt really good. My soul just, this is what I think of as home to me. And I'd walk down to the bottom there onto one of, I called it a pier, but it's not a pier. And I called it Willow Pier. So that's where I'm going first. And then I'll walk along the lake. It is cold out. Not as cold as it has been, but pretty cold for me. Yeah, I'm trying not to look at the houses because I'll just feel all nostalgic and be like, why am I not living here again? But, you know, I'm just glad to be back in Toronto. And the fact is that I can get on the streetcar and come down here. And that's something I just need to try and get myself to do. So today, as I start this no GTA, no hot ring, no racing thing, and thank goodness the anti-anxiety med kicked in, I thought it'd be a good day to get down and see the winter art installations on the beaches. Not that you need to have art down there to appreciate the lake, but yeah, so I'm gonna do this. But yeah, I do miss living here. When I lived in St. Thomas back in my hometown for those few years, nearly 5 years, I was heartsick for living in that old building up there. Now, admittedly, there's some kind of important bus coming around. Admittedly, there's a much better view at the apartment I live in now. It's an amazing view of the city skyline, you know, of Toronto and the lake and Ontario Place, and you know, everything that you can imagine. It's beautiful. It's beautiful where I live, but I'm so happy right now just to be back in the beaches, just to be, you know, approaching the lake. So it's Lake Ontario, same lake near where I live, you know, and just a streetcar away, but here I am. It's pretty and sunny. It doesn't look like a good idea for me to go on it, but that's what I called Willow Pier, because, well, Willow Avenue is right here, and that's what I lived on. And when I had my bachelor apartment, and yeah, but this is there, and that's Balmy Beach Club, and the boardwalk starts or ends depending on your perspective just right there, just on the other side of this. And then just a bit further is the R.C. Harris water treatment plant, which is like a marvel, and it's marble inside. It's quite beautiful, but yeah, it's look at people hang things on the trees like Christmas ornaments. This looks really dangerous, and I'm kind of scared. So we'll just not do this. Oh no, bad ideas. Bad ideas. I'm questioning my life choices right now. Huh. Okay, let's not do that again. Photographers were hardcore during the winter. Well, it's not winter, but I mean when we had like the storms, they took beautiful pictures of stuff like that, and there was a lot more of it. So I'm gonna take some pictures, but I'm also very cold, and I'm relieved that my stupidity didn't ruin my phone or myself. Yeah. So here I am. So not using my DSLR, but I am at Willow Pier. I am here. My fingers are pretty cold, but look how beautiful it is. It's just really beautiful. I know it's focusing on me, but look at that. It's great. There are installations along the beach toward Woodbine, so I'm gonna go there, but my fingers are pretty cold. But just seeing this is pretty amazing. Nature is its own art installation. So let's just like switch this camera. There you go. I mean, look how beautiful it is. My fingers are pretty cold. Freaking beautiful. Woodbine Beach now. And, approaching the art installations, the winter art installations that are installed on the beaches. As you can see, what nature has done is amazing. And like I said, it was far more incredible. There's lots of great photos on this on 8 Beaches Facebook group. People or enthusiasts share their love of the neighborhood no matter what the weather. Oh, it's so cold. It's not even the head's cold, but I feel like I always have to use that disclaimer. Like, this is nothing for... But, so I'm just approaching all the art and my battery's low, but I want to check this stuff out. Oh, see? We have a piece right here. One of the lifeguard stations, but look what they did with it. I'll tell you what this reminds me of. I haven't looked to see what the exhibit is, but from the color scheme. And what this reminds me of, well, the color scheme combined with what it reminds me of. When I was a kid, our school would take us to a village that was supposed to teach us the history of native peoples or indigenous peoples, or you know, the different were here before any settlers, and they had this like thing you had to walk through, and then in the middle would be where the people would live. But there was like a maze, walls of maze things to help protect. And this sort of reminds me of that. That's just what I'm thinking about. This is helping me think of that. So I think this is fantastic. I have to see what it's about. Let me see if there's a thing that says what it is, because now I'm really curious. The forest of butterflies represents the forests of Mexico, where year after year the insect with the longest migration in the world is received, the monarch butterfly. Oh, well, receiving in the Canadian migrant, where the spectators can play, run, dance, chase, and hide from the millions of butterflies that paint with orange tons of forest during the Mexican winter. Okay, well, that's interesting. I should have thought of that. I mean, but I didn't. Of course they look like butterflies. But I still like my interpretation of it before I looked at the forest of butterflies. But now that I've seen it, of course it looks like monarchs. And one of my favorite memories living here in the beaches was walking along the boardwalk and having all the migrating butterflies. They just were flying all around me and all past me down when I lived in the Palma Beach area. So, I mean, that's nice, but I like my interpretation of it. But I'm glad that it's of this too, because that's a really beautiful thing to experience. I can experience it down where I live as well, but it seems so much more magical when I live down there. But yeah. Well, there you go, guys. I like what I thought of. But I like what they did, of course, right? If you thought butterflies, like, what is she talking about? You were right. The forest of butterflies. It's so lovely. I like what I thought of, though. But a forest of butterflies is beautiful. Yeah. The migrating monarchs are one of the most beautiful nature magical moments you can have, especially when you're by the lake, right? It's like one of their flight patterns goes right along the lake. So you'd be walking on the boardwalk and they'd just be, doing their thing. So I'm going to take some more pictures before I go. I've been outside in the cold for a bit too long, but I wanted to share this with you guys. There's more. There's that, and they're not only interesting for where they are and but I saw one, but I love seeing willow pier, so I'm pretty happy about that. But my fingers are done, even with gloves on, and so I'm going to cut up Woodbine Avenue and catch a streetcar back to my neighborhood. Even though I love it here, it's just way too cold. The installations, I believe, go on until April 1st. I'm not sure. So if you are in Toronto, get on the Queen streetcar, come down to the beaches and check out this. Go directly to Woodbine Beach. I mean, where I went is not where the installations are, but I'm so glad I went there to where I used to live. But it's really cool. And each year so far since they started, they have different installations. Look at this tree. What a great tree. Oh, and then they made this is cool. Okay, let me not slip. Yeah, this is great. This is good. See, this will be great things. I already looked at this one just a second ago and I said, this couple was not supposed to be married. These are last copies. This is Book City and the beaches on Main Street East. Oh. Ooh. Tempting. Oh, I heard this was a good book. I'm not saying that because I'm a vegetarian or vegan or anything. It's just like, I heard this is a really good book. Because it's not about... It's specific. 3 each. Huh? Ooh, there you go. Oh, that's actually really helpful. $10. That's a really good deal. So this is the old neighborhood, and out there is road by Incense, and I think there's a coffee shop, but I can't afford to go to Book City today. That is a good bookstore, and my nose is getting all running. It's a long time outside. You know, it's blue hour. It's not the most beautiful blue, but it's very cold. I'm glad I'm nearly home. But it really is a lovely blue. So I get home. I take pictures from the balcony view. Look at that. Sorry about that part thing. I straighten shit out and I decide I'm not giving up the game for the month. I got invited to a playlist. I'm gonna race. And I'm kind of pissed at this whole trying to have a, you know, I'm not going into it, but something made me think I will give something else up for Lent instead. And I sound angry, but I had a good day. I took lots of pictures of, it was freaking cold, but I did okay. I ended up sucked into Book City, but had no money, but still was able to get this and this. So I have no words for like what I'm feeling, thinking right now, except like I was out all day in the cold, all day. Happy birthday, Toronto, by the way. All day, all freaking day in really cold weather, and I was good. And then I'm almost home and I see a post and it says something like, it said something, and I'm like, WTF, am I? No. And so yeah, but I got my steps in. I did really good. Took pictures of ice. Day 1 of this thing, no, I'm gonna race in a few minutes after I go to the washroom and get some water to drink, because you should hydrate even in the winter. Okay, bye. Okay, so it's noon of the next day of Lent. I just wanted to briefly reflect on yesterday and what happened. I thought that giving up the game would be the best thing I could do, that it would be the thing that would be the best idea for multiple reasons. And I got dressed and I took my morning meds, which I don't always take my anti-anxiety in the morning. I sometimes just like take them all at night, because I can get sleepy in the morning, and I don't know, I should take them as prescribed, but I generally lump them in the evening. But I'm sharing a lot there. But here's the thing, I took them like prescribed, and I got myself out the door. It wasn't easy because I do have anxiety and agoraphobia. I'm not afraid of outside. It's just, it's hard to explain. But I did it. I went outside. I went to the freaking streetcar. Every time I had to wait for the streetcar, it was really cold, but I'm really thankful that we have transit here. And I really loved the streetcars. So, it was a very long ride down to the beaches. I loved that it's just one streetcar. I accidentally checked in on Swarm Foursquare on the King streetcar, because the King streetcar is what I usually use to get downtown on the occasions that I do. But I had walked up all the way to, not all the way, it's not that far, just a few blocks more to Queen Street, because there's 2 streetcars that are very near me, which is awesome. It's fucking awesome. I always want to be near the Queen Street line because of my affinity to it and living down in the beaches before. But I live near the King streetcar the most. I actually live near 3 streetcar access points, which is really cool. But like the Dufferin Loop is not far around the corner. That's one I used a lot when going to school before. And anyway, I'm rambling. I'm still waking up. Okay, so I went up to Queen. I checked in on the King streetcar with my Swarm Foursquare app because I'm old school, and I check in everywhere I go when I go places. It's a good way to learn or to know how long it's been since I've last been outside. So I took the Queen streetcar all the way to the beaches. It took a long time at lunchtime, and that's fine by me because I'm still grateful. And it was really good to see all that's out there, like to see so much, see what changes have happened since I've last been by. Cities are changing, and there's things that stay the same, and it made me kind of wish for warmer weather to like be walking a lot of that area and exploring. And I saw so many photo opportunity shots of like storefronts and whatnot, and things that caught my eye. But I didn't take pictures while on the streetcar. But here's the thing, like, it made me feel that feeling inside of feeling very happy to be living here. And that was a good experience, a good reminder that you live in the city that you wanted to live in again, and it's just great to be out. And it reminded me of what I used to tell people when I worked at a certain touristy spot, and they go, "What should we do when we're in the city? We don't have much time or much money, but what should we do?" And I'm like, get on the Queen streetcar and just take it. Get out on off pass if you can, and just let whim take you on or off it, and see what there is. You'll see so many different neighborhoods, and you can like shop or eat or just walk around and just explore. Just stay on the streetcar if you're so tired from walking, because often people are on vacation, and you can just like experience the city that way, like part of it, the city, like a capsule. And there's other streetcars and other lines as well. I got to the beaches. It took a while. I got there, and I had that feeling like of of returning home. Like, for some reason, my spirit, my heart, my soul, whatever it is, feels at home in the beaches. And when I walk down Willow Avenue down to the lake, it feels right. It feels like I'm home. And I don't really feel like I have never felt like, oh, this is home. Like, even when I moved back to my hometown, I didn't feel like, oh, this is home. Because it didn't get to feel that way for me due to the way I grew up or something. Anyway, and yes, I'm in my nightgown. What happened next is that I went down to Willow Pier, and I spent a lot of time there. And it was really cold, like, for me, not getting out much, not being properly prepared. So by the time I got to the winter installations, I really wanted to see the rest of them. I was heading toward the one that was next to the butterfly forest, but I could also see that I wasn't that far from Woodbine Avenue, and like the pool that's there, so that I could walk beside that, get up to Woodbine Avenue to Queen again. And I really wanted to see the rest of the installations then, but my fingers were really cold, and they were feeling really wrong, and I was like, even with gloves on. So I was like, I can't. And I'd already been out for quite a while. Like, I think at least, I don't know, quite a long time, an hour and a half probably for me, without proper clothing. Like, I had my winter coat and I had gloves, but I did not have, another set of gloves or something. So I walked up to Woodbine and Queen, and then I was going to take a streetcar home, which is what I said in the video. But instead, I turned right and walked along the beaches, like the Queen Street East. And I went to the Starbucks that they have that has replaced like 2 closed Starbucks, or at least one. 2 closed Starbucks. The one I used to go to, a Hammersmith, has been gone. And then this other one that was more further east has been gone. And they have a different one that's pretty nice, actually, but I went there. I ordered a cappuccino, coconut milk, and I was awkward and weird, but it's okay, because I'm like that. That's just how I am sometimes. I plugged into an outlet when I finally found a place to sit. And it was at the front window, so I sat there. I charged my phone. I looked at it too much. I used it too much. But then I actually read some poems from that book that I'm still freaking reading. I'm still reading one book, still working on one book. I thought I would stay till I finished the whole book, but Plus, I was actually taking in what I was reading, so that meant, almost crying from some of the poems being so, I don't know, I need to read poetry, I need to read. That's kind of why I wanted to also stop the gaming, but I'm not on the game yet, and there's time I can read now, so that's something else. So I spent a lot of time there, and then I took the streetcar home, but I waited out in the cold a long time, and then I took the streetcar home. And then by the time I got home, or to my neighborhood, it was blue hour, and the sky was just this most beautiful blue. It's really beautiful blue. It's grittier where I live. Gentrification is going to change that, and it makes me sad because of displacement and how it affects people, and it also makes me curious to see how things change. I don't know. It's tough. I feel thankful to be where I am, and everybody also has this concern about cost of living and rent and stuff. So while in the beaches, I felt really
happy to be there, and I was remembering my bachelor apartment and how thankful I was to be there. But I also know that I have one of the most spectacular views I could imagine where I live now. It's a beautiful view, and the lake is right near me here as well. It's just, I can't just walk down the street and see the lake. I need to walk across some traffic streets to get to the lake here. But that's not so bad. I can see the lake every day, out my window, out my bedroom window, on the balcony. It's beautiful here, and I have the city view. So I have to learn to walk around here again, like I did when I first moved here. And I'm going to when the weather gets a bit better. So I taken pictures with my phone. I never took my DSLR out in that. And I took some little bits of video, and then I got, on my way back, I felt an emotional reaction to a post I saw that then by the time I was getting home, I nearly fell. I don't know, but my knee saved me. I nearly fell because it's icy out there. By the time I'd gotten undressed and into my night clothes and whatever, and I'd already gotten a message, like you get network messages saying, you know, there's a playlist in 45 minutes, you down? And I'm always down for that because it's fun, it's good racing, I like it, I like the tracks, I like the creativity in them, I like some of the people, some, not, no, some of them are kind of mean, but, you know, some of them are pretty cool. And since I was angry about the other thing, I decided I'd give up something else instead of the game. Now, I didn't give up that something else, that somebody else. What I did instead is I noticed, all throughout the day, of course, I noticed that I'd been fasting. Right now I'm at over a day and 21 hours. I'm really close to 2 days of fasting. That means what I'm doing is a liquid fast. So I've only had coffee and water. I should be drinking teas. And I haven't consumed any food since a day and nearly 2 days ago. And I kind of wanted to fast anyway. And so now I guess what I've done is I'm fasting for Lent. Now, I'm not doing it the way that they say. I already abstained from meat. I've abstained from meat for several years now. And so there's not that to give up. So just, I'm flat out not eating. I don't know how long that will last. If I followed Lent, which I'm actually not following it by the rules anyway, I would eat on Sundays, and I don't know that I want to. So I don't know what I'm doing there. I might just go a few days and then see how I feel. I don't know what else I could give up. I think what I could do is bring in things like just make sure I take the time to like get out, and even if I have to really force myself, and take some photos and appreciate where I am. And reading, I would like to set time aside where I'm reading and writing. I mean, I love those things, and a lot of those things did go by the wayside. So I brushed my hair 100 strokes, but still I've got, is that dandruff or just my white hair? I think it's a combo of both. Look at all that white. I think that, like, I know what I want to do. I want to do more of the stuff that I love as well. And that's good for me and nurtures my creative passions. But I also, I want to not be making, what is it that I really was giving the game up for? I think it's the fact that I am yearning for a certain type of companionship and connection. And I don't just want it to... I know that my very being is just sending that message out so, not desperately, but so strongly that some of it's coming back at me, and I need a whoa, like, and I need to sort out some of my feelings, and I need to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. Somebody had a very heated discussion with me yesterday about, well, they kind of projected some expectations on me. They're not in my life. They're just somebody I've had some good conversations with, but they were telling me things that I should be doing. And frankly, they're wrong. They can't tell me what to do, but they're wrong. Based on what I know of me. Like, this is something that does bother me. If somebody wants to tell me that I don't know who I am or what I want. I have done so much self-reflecting. Look at the dandruff. See, I'm aware of my dandruff. I've done so much self-reflection, thinking, therapy. I'm self-aware and I know myself. I'm aware of my patterns. I know when I do things. I know what I'm not saying I do the right things, but I own my shit. I know what I do. And I know my own limitations. And I've also been I've been through assessments, so I know that other people know as well. It isn't like some things are only me deciding, I'm so frustrated because I was thinking of how hard I am on myself, and to have someone say that basically in a way that I'm not hard enough pissed me off, because that's what my inner voice always says. You're not hard enough. My critical voice is always like, you're not doing enough. You're not trying hard enough. You're not this. You're not that. You're not doing this and meeting society's standards of that. What the hell's wrong with you? And no, I don't need I don't need somebody outside my head saying that. Not because they may be telling the truth, but because, no, I don't need that kind of thing. And I knew a lot of it was him projecting. This person was projecting. And I kind of was trying to be from a place of compassion and understanding that, but it didn't work out that way. Basically, yesterday was full of a lot of stuff as far as reminders to myself of what I love and what I need, and how probably I should take myself out on a date like that again, where I just get on the streetcar, go to an area that I love, walk around, breathe the air, sit in a coffee shop. It may not be a big thing, but it is a good nurturing thing. And I haven't read The Artist's Way yet, even though I've had it on my shelf a long time, but I know it mentions taking yourself out on artist dates. And as someone who does want to be a writer and has been writing, and I even got in trouble for that. Well, you've been writing for 20 years, how come you're not published? And all this stuff, except for the publication credit I have coming. Why don't I have books out or something? Why aren't I making a living from it? And this was something coming from somebody who's a musician, who is very talented, who has not made it. And so he is resigned to the fact that he has to get a job. And I imagine it's not what I don't know. I don't want to impose thoughts about that. It just, holy crap, is he not aware that, yes, I could spend more time reading and writing, and that's what I'm going to try to do, but there are Like, even for those that are grinding their writing out, it can't happen overnight. And I can't beat myself up over that. I need to be celebrating that my recent publication credit, and I need to like keep moving from there and not I guess it was just also a moment of realizing how negative I am with myself, as if I didn't know, but I mean how toxic that can be to myself, you know. And I'm just getting older. Why am I going to be that mean to myself? Plus, why would I have someone talk to me that way as well when it's clearly so damaging? It does not help. It does not change things. So I guess that's how my whole day went. It was a strange whirlwind of, not whirlwind, it was a strange, being told that I have no resilience. I want to be like, who are you? Like, have you not noticed my freaking life? No, you haven't, because I'm here through so much. Like, you have no freaking idea. And also the discussions regarding no children. This person just went for all the hard punches, you know, me not having children, me not having a job that on top of my pension, me not being a successful writer, and me not being successful in my marriage. That was a big one where this person placed a lot of morals on me about that. I have tried, and then after several years, it was decided we are open and we are still making it work together. We're not messing each other over. And there's still love there and a deep friendship and such. And we are grateful to have a place to live. And in these economic times, you can't just separate. And I feel like one of the fortunate few, because there's a lot of people that are in partnerships or relationships where they are being severely abused and they can't leave because of economic states. And so I think that's another reason why that person was like, well, just get a job and have that, and then you can... I'm rambling. Basically, I just wanted to tell you guys nothing.